Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, come on, say something.
Come on now. Get the testimony. Huh?
Good afternoon, and I'm so grateful for this award. I just want to give you a little bit of information about my background. I grew up in Mississippi on a farm. My parents were farmers. And I worked in the cotton fields.
Amen.
And I picked cotton and chopped cotton. And I said it was a great motivating factor because I didn't want to work in the fields forever. I went to school. I graduated from McNair High School in Belzoni, Mississippi. I came to Chicago afterwards. And would you believe that at that time, Cook County was the place I was going to become a nurse? I took a test and they gave me some phony excuse and said, maybe you ought to try practical nursing. My older sister said, they're not the only game in town. Go to St. Louis. In St. Louis, you had two hospitals, a black hospital and a white hospital. The black hospital was called Homer G. Phillips. They had a nursing school, Homer G. Phillips Hospital School of Nursing. And that's where I graduated from, after getting a full scholarship from one of the physicians there in Homer G. So sometimes things work out better for you without even realizing it. Because I didn't have the money. I just knew I was going to go to school. When I came to Chicago, and I want to tell you how I got involved in the landscaping business. Because for over 30 years, I worked as a nurse. In '65, I went back south with the Medical Committee for Human Rights that I joined here in Chicago because Chicago was still quite racist in the medical field. You may have seen on your computer or someplace that Quentin Young, who recently died, he was one of the physicians involved in that committee. I went back south in '65 and worked for the Medical Committee for Human Rights. We were teaching people what a physical should be. We went and checked out segregation in hospitals. And in '66, I came back to Chicago. Oh, and by the way, I was down there when the Meredith March took place, and he was shot. And I participated in the march that followed that. I was in Camden, Mississippi when they pulled the hoses and the bayonets on us and tear gases. But all of that just made me stronger and more committed to voting. And I always encourage young people to vote. It's extremely important. Too many people die for not having the courage to vote. I want to thank you so much for this award, but I just thought you ought to know how I got to where I am. And one last thing, when Harold Washington was in office, he made me the Director of Quality Assurance. When Mayor Daley got in, he abolished the whole department of quality assurance. And the one reason I got into the business with my husband, at that point I decided I'm not working for anybody else but myself. That's when I got into the landscaping business with my husband. Just to give you a little bit of history.
Give her a hand.
Real history. The real, that's important history.
That little bit of history go
a long way.
Really? Because remember, listen, Dr. King ran a whole movement with no fax machine. I mean, just how would you do that?
No texting.
No texting, no tweeting. I mean, my goodness. Voting Rights Act, no Facebook. No internet. I mean, the world did we have a whole civil rights movement? I mean, my goodness. I mean, with all the beauty that it is, it's made a lot of us lazy. We don't meet no more. Everybody just get on TikTok. I'm a bad text and move. But I'm just telling you now because I